Hello, my name is Sabine Oliveros from Illinois, and I will be presenting the importance of pursuing our passions. According to Gallup, the Washington, D.C.-based polling organization, only 13% of the working population feels passionate and engaged by their careers. This means out of every 100 working people, 87 are dissatisfied with their jobs. Confucius once said, "Choose a job you love, and you will never have to work a day in your life." We are all searching for that job. Where do we begin our journey of career searching? We begin while in school. School is the place where career interests are born, where lifelong passions develop, and where young minds ought to be empowered. In order to guide young people to pursue their passions, schools need to correct glaring problems by realigning their curriculum to the students' interests and promoting learning through effective student-teacher collaboration. Don't get me wrong. I am and will forever be grateful for the school I currently attend today. I am also aware that learning in other school systems aren't as mature as ours. One of the glaring problems revolves around a school's unwritten policy of cramming for the sake of checking off another school year. This mind-numbing exercise stifles the most talented of minds. Worse, this practice kills the number of career aspirations that are only beginning to take shape. The majority of students I interviewed expressed frustration with temporarily memorizing volumes of curriculum. They are unable to absorb the subjects they are being tested at. Most students have become memorization fatigued. Sully Briggs, a modern-day poet, asks our society, why is a classroom of individuals tested by the same means? If we continue to judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, as Albert Einstein quipped, will we not encourage foolhardiness and drive young minds towards mediocrity? Through a week of these interviews and informal conversations, I uncovered yet another fundamental issue with our educational system today, that not enough time seems to be spent on cultivating our generation's young minds through creative discourse and interactive teaching. One student complained, "If my friends weren't here, school would be boring." Students want learning that is interactive and fresh. Here's another comment that was reiterated by my peers. "I feel like some things I'm required to learn aren't applicable to what I want to be when I'm older." And I agree. Some of the concepts we're learning today are not applicable to real-world circumstances. For example, how will the first 20 digits of pi help me decide which college to choose? Or how is memorizing my terms going to fuel work ethics? The subject matter themselves and how they weave into our future seem disconnected with what we, as a student body, need to be successful. Students are not feeling the connection between their education today and the challenges of tomorrow. All these objections are evidences that today's students, the future working class, are not being equipped in many schools with skills they truly need to become productive. Schools can equip today's young minds with better tools, which they can use to harness and cultivate their passions. So, how can schools realign their curriculum and spark students' interests? In 1 Timothy 4:12, the Bible teaches, "Let no man despise thy youth, but be thou an example of the believers in word, in conversation, in charity, in spirit, in faith, in purity." What the Bible is telling us is that we need to learn to listen to others, regardless of age. Listening to students' concerns is the first step in building the right environment which can spark passion. Much like entertainment and amusement parks, why can't schools conduct surveys of teachers' performances at the ends of the first and second semesters? This will allow teachers to recalibrate their teaching styles and help promote positive learning, especially with challenged students. Encouraging open but respectful dialogue would also promote self-confidence, which can nurture passion. When students are self-confident, they are more open to new possibilities, and they are more open to reach for their true potentials. Human beings who are able to utilize their true potentials are catalysts that can change the world for the better. In 2 Kings, Josiah is crowned king at the age of 8. David was estimated to be around 12 through 15 when he killed Goliath. Mary was in her mid-teenage years when she gave birth to Jesus. These human beings were able to utilize their potentials, which changed the world for the better. God has no limits when it comes to using people's potentials for his glory. Schools ought to inspire young minds to reach their true potentials and apply their passions to bring glory to our God, who makes all things possible. The summer after 7th grade, I began volunteering under my art director and aiding her with whatever I can, by organizing supplies, running errands, and, if lucky, was trusted enough to sort through paperwork. Every year since then, I've spent my summers under her care. Even within the short period of 3 months, I can say that I have learned priceless skills that a classroom could never teach me. Even at that age, I can say that those summers have greatly influenced my maturing into adulthood. The experience gave me a glimpse of what an internship feels like. It made me feel empowered and successful. Because of the positive impact of my volunteer work, a question arose in my mind. What if we offered internships to students at younger ages? Internships that are offered through school to students at younger ages can teach students life experiences that can never be learned in the classroom, or even a field trip. Internships present students a chance to interact with what may one day end up as their future career. Instead of sitting back and merely observing, students can build abilities and concepts they will use later in life. There are plenty of students that want to be doctors, but how many of them have had the opportunity to shadow a doctor at work? This could be said for many professions, from criminal justice to teaching to architecture. How many of the working population have been given a chance to intern under an expert who can guide them towards their career interests? Diligently apprenticed and surrounded by these supportive teachers and mentors, these students will grow into passionate adults, prepared and equipped to lead others into the future. Speaking of post-internships and formal education, students often fail to understand the gravity of parental guidance. Parents and guardians are uniquely positioned to influence their wards. Schools can host workshops where parents present speaker panels and life lessons encourage young minds to pursue their passions. Just as schools are accountable for adjusting their curriculum, so too must students play a part in finding their career interests and turning them into passions. A self-help book titled Do Hard Things, written by Alex and Brett Harris, highlight the enormous possibilities of young minds. They note that more teenagers are rebelling against the low standards of today's society by choosing to do hard things for the glory of God. My challenge to my peers is to never choose a path of complacency. Rather, we all must choose to do hard things, which can help us uncover our true potentials. True potentials empower the future. Guiding young people to pursue their passions requires schools to correct glaring problems by realigning their curriculum to the students' interests and promoting learning through effective student-teacher-parent collaboration. For our school of today, expect us to be responsible. Give us responsibility and offer us an opportunity to grow. Teach us not only through your eyes, but also through ours. Believe in us as we continue to seek our true potentials. As a young student with a desire to learn, I am passionate about giving my generation, and generations ahead a chance to refine what they are best at and build their own legacy. Thank you.